Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's ClaritySoft training webinar. I'm Susan Arnold, Implementation Specialist here at ClaritySoft. Today is Tuesday, July 28th, 2020. Our topic for today is using the lookup and relationship type fields in ClaritySoft database. The relationship field and the multi-value lookup are fairly new, and so I wanted to make sure that everybody knew they were out there because they can do some really cool things in your database to help you find information, in a sense, eliminate drop-down lists perhaps that need to be changed all the time. So that's what we're going to look at today and go through how to build those, what they do. First of all, we'll do some exploring. We'll build examples of each type, show you how to set it up in the UI template, which I'm sure most of you know, and then look at how they actually work. Then talking about design tips for creating data flow from module to module. On this next slide, I have put together the connections. We have always had, if you start with a lead record, you can create custom fields in the leads record, which then when you convert the lead, will have that data flow into matching fields in the account record, the contact record, and the opportunity record. And so we've always had that. Then from opportunities, if you create custom fields, in quotations and sales, when you convert an opportunity, it will have the data flow into the matching fields in a quote, and then it would go from a quote to a sale when you convert that, or you can convert an opportunity directly to a sale and have the data flow. Recently, I guess maybe about 7 or 8 months ago, we added the ability for custom fields to flow from the contact record to the opportunity record. So if you have the same custom fields in contacts, you create a new opportunity, that data will flow into the new opportunity when that contact is selected as the connecting contact. The one break we had was between accounts and contacts, and that is the one that's most recently been added, where you no longer really have to start with leads if your company does not want to use leads. You can create custom fields in accounts, which will flow into the contacts, which then would flow into the opportunities and then all the way through. So this was the one segment that was missing, which has been rectified, I guess, and now you can get that flow throughout the entire database without using the leads module. And I know I work with people who don't always use the leads module. So I wanted to let everyone know that, because that is, probably within the last 6 months or so. All right. So let's talk about the fields. Let me go to my ClaritySoft here. In ClaritySoft, we have a lookup field, and a lookup field allows you to connect to either accounts, contacts, or the user list. And then when you go to the lookup field, you get a little spyglass and you can click on it, and then it will give you a list of all the accounts in the database, and then you can search and find the account that you want to connect another account record to, or any other record actually, to it. Typically, this is used by a lot of people when they need a parent company. They might have an organization that they work with, but that organization has a parent corporation, and they want to connect it to the parent corporation. Well, you could make it a text field, but then you're relying on all your people to have to type it correctly and consistently, which you probably know is not going to work. So the second thing is you could possibly add a drop-down list of all the companies that are parent or corporate type owner companies. That may or may not work because you may have too many. It may change often, whatever. So the lookup field is perfect for that, where it gives you that list you find it, it's always going to be spelled correctly. So that's one way to use lookup field. Lookup field could also be used if you want to connect perhaps a second salesperson to a record. And we have the owner field where you can only have one owner, but you perhaps could create, additional sale rep, and you could use that as a lookup field, or if more than one person might be involved, you could use the multi-value lookup field, which allows you to select more than one and make that connection. So those are, we're going to look at those. So I'm hoping in your heads right now, you're beginning to think of ideas of how you can use this in your particular database. And then the last one we'll look at is the relationship field. We've always had relationships in ClaritySoft in the form of being shown under the Relationships tab. And that works nicely until you want to search, because the only way that you can see the connections is to go to a record, look at the Relationships tab, and see what records are connected to it. You can't literally search on it. So this relationship field allows you to do that. And so it basically becomes another level of sophistication, which I think is much more useful than what the Relationships tab has been. So that is an exciting one, because what happens there, you're making a connection between an account and a contact, an account and an account, or really anywhere in the database. But when you're actually creating two fields at the same time, one that will be in the original record, let's say an account, and one that will be in the related record. An example I'm going to say is a board member. You might have, in an account record, you want to know what people are on the board for a particular company, okay? And those people are also in your ClaritySoft database. So you can create a relationship where in the account record, it will say board member as the name of the field, and it's connected to a contact, okay? Then the contact field could be, the name would be board member 4. And then when you go to the account record and you say, okay, the board member is John Smith, it puts it in the account record, but then when you go to John Smith's contact record, it will say he's a board member for ABC Company. So it makes that connection between the two automatically, and then you can search for all of the companies. If you go to John Smith's record, you can see all the companies that he's a board member for if he's on multiple ones. So with that, let's kind of dive in here and create some of these so that you can see how it works. The first one I'm going to do is set up that parent account that I was talking about. So you go to settings just like you normally would for creating a custom field. I'm going to go to accounts, and I'm going to add and you could call it parent company, parent corporation. And again, you know what you need. And then I'm going to make it a lookups type field. And with a lookup, as I said, you can connect it to an account, a contact, or a user. In this case, it would be an account, and we're going to save it. All right. Now, while I'm in here, I'm going to do a couple other things so I don't have to log out and log in about 1 billion times. So I've created just a plain lookup type field. Now I'm going to go to opportunities, and I'm going to create a custom field here for a multi-value lookup. So you see the difference. And here I'm going to call this, I'm just going to call this other sale reps. Perhaps on an opportunity, you might have multiple people on your team that are working with the company, trying to create a big proposal, that sort of thing. And you want to know who else is working on it. So I'm going to choose multi-value lookup. And this time I'm going to connect it to users, because there are other people that are users in ClaritySoft, but notice you can connect to any other module. I'm going to save that. All right, so now I'm going to go to UI templates here real quick. Go to account UI template. This is usually the step people forget after they've created a custom field. Go here. And here it is. Pull this right here. Save it. Back. I'll go to my opportunity UI template and we'll set that one up for right now. And there we go. So I might throw this one over here by the owner. Okay. I'll log out. So when I get back in, I will go to my account record first. And I can open up any account record now. And I have this parent company field. So you can see that you can't type in it. You have to click here on the little spyglass. It's going to give me a list of all of my accounts in the database. So then I would find the account that's the name of it. I don't even know what I have in here. I'll just pick one. So let's say these are the corporate owners, okay? So this ensures that that parent company name is always spelled correctly and spelled the same. So very easy to do. You can add as many lookup fields as you need. You know, maybe you need to connect multiple contacts to an opportunity, like a project manager, perhaps a consultant, and that sort of thing. Again, that could be a contact or it could be an account. You could pull in the account name with one lookup field and put in the contact name with the second one. So think creatively here and you will see. Now with the opportunities, I'll just go here because I see I have one and I'll open it. That's fine. And now I will have in my opportunity record this other sales reps right here. And what I can do is click the add button and then it lets me search for my other users and add as many additional users as I need. And it shows me a list of my additional users. If I need to remove one, I can click the little X. This hide button collapses them. The show button displays them, okay? And then the nice thing is, if I go to my opportunities, then I will see, oh, I lost that one too. I can pull up the column and then see the other sales reps in the column, and then I can search on them. So I could see what other sales reps are connected to my opportunities. So they will be listed here, right there. Okay, and it tells you they're a user and then who they are. So then I could search on that. So that's a way. I know that question comes up sometimes where people need to have more than one connected, so they can pick one who's the actual owner and then have additional ones represented here. All right. So that's the multi-value lookup and the lookup. Okay. Now, the relationship one. This one is sometimes a little tricky to think about, but once you get it, you're good. So let's say I want to create in my account record, my accounts get related to a distributor, okay? And perhaps they might need to be related to more than one distributor. So I could create a lookup field. I could create a multi-value lookup field. But what I would like to do is I would like to, when I assign an account to a distributor, I'd like to be able to go to the distributor's record and see how many of my customers use that distributor. So in that case, I need it entered in two places, and that's when I want to create that relationship field. Okay, so let's go do that. I'm going to call this distributor. Distributor. Fingers don't want to work. Okay. Go down here and I find the relationship field. Now notice what happens. I have a lookup of the account because that's where I'm starting. And now I have to give it the name in the account record, which is distributor. Okay. Then I am looking up somewhere else in the database. Well, what I'm looking up actually is another account, which would be the distributor's name. Okay. So this one would be distributor customer. And this is where it gets a little tricky thinking about this. Okay. Save it. Now, again, the UI template. And you'll notice that I'm going to have two fields I need to pull into my template because both fields are in the account record. So over here, I have distributor and distributor customer. So let's see, where am I going to pull these over? I'll stick them up here. Save that. So if I go to an account, and we'll just go to, let's see here. This is going to be a little weird. So Aircastle Limited. So we see distributor and distributor customer. So the distributor for Aircastle Limited, again, I have this plus sign to add. I'm going to get a search for the account. And I have, let's see, I have a distributor in here somewhere. I just wrote it down. Where did it go? There it is. So, okay, DIS. So there's OK distributors. So they're now connected to OK distributors. All right. I'm going to save and close. And then if I go, let me connect another one. So let's do this one. We're going to add a distributor. Now notice here, you do have to know the name. It doesn't bring up a list. Oh, I got caught up on that a couple times. So most likely in your situation, you would know. So now we have connected airflow equipment and whatever the other company was to OK Distributors. So if I now search for OK Distributors and I open the record, the distributor customers are here, Airflow Equipment and Aircastle Limited. That's the benefit of the relationship, is that wherever you connected in one place, it's automatically connected in the other. So if I did another one here in OK Distributors, where I add a distributor customer, and I typed in, we'll do titanium brands, that adds it here as a distributor customer. And then if I go look up titanium brands, we will see that OK Distributor is now set as the distributor for titanium brands. So I only do it once. There it is. So that's the cool thing about it. And then what's even better is I can show these in my columns with column settings, or I can pull over the distributor, okay, and then I can see who has what distributor. So there they are. So I can see them. And if I had multiple distributors, then I would be able to use my search to find everybody that has OK Distributors. So in this case, you would go to your advanced search, and then you would need to go to the standard filter, because you'll notice those lookup fields and stuff are not here. That the parent company is, but the other ones are not. So you would need to go here and scroll down. Your custom fields are always below the dashed line here, okay? Look for distributor, and then contains, and contains OK, DIS, good enough. And you now would find all of your accounts that use OK Distributor as their distributor, okay? That's what you could not do with the Relationships tab. You could not search and find these kinds of things. So that one is one to think about, because it is creating that balance on both sides. Another way you can use relationships is if you are relating perhaps a legal firm that you work with to clients, okay? So you might want to pull in the name of the legal firm in one relationship type field, and you might create a second one that is for the actual attorney's name. So you would connect the account to a contact in that relationship. In opportunities or the projects module, you may want to relate contractors to the opportunity or to the project. Different contractors, so maybe, or a project leader could be, related between a project record and a contact person. So again, start thinking of all the connections that you can make, which help you then set up those fields so that the relationship is created on both sides. And you can have that done, and then you can search on those relationships. Because again, like in opportunities, if you connected to contractors, let's say, then you could search all your opportunities that are connected or related to a specific contractor. Or you can go to the contractor's record, account record, and look up that contractor and see, well, what are all the opportunities that they've worked on with me? So start thinking creatively. And try these out, because they can be really, really helpful within your database to make those interconnections amongst the different modules. There's one last one I wanted to show you. If you are using custom modules, you have the ability to create what's called a custom module lookup. So what I've done, I have an equipment custom module here, and I'm tracking different pieces of equipment that have been installed at a customer site. So you can see here, I've got the product, a serial number for the product, what model it is, when it was purchased, and all that sort of thing. So this is a custom module that's creating another one-to-many relationship, because a company could buy more than one piece of equipment. This would be if you were tracking, say, larger pieces of equipment that you've installed on site and you need to do warranty service on them. So I've got this custom module. In the support record, and some of you may not be using these, so you just kind of stick it in the back of your head. If I open up a support ticket, I have what's called a custom module lookup field. And so when someone calls in and they say something's not working, I would be able to ask them, what is the serial number? And then I can type in up here part of the serial number, and it will find it for me. I confirm, yep, this is what they have, and then put it in the field. So that's how a custom module lookup can work. When you create the field, you get to pick what pieces of information you want to be able to see. So if I go to support and custom field, here's my custom module lookup. So when you choose this data type and then you connect it to the custom module, you'll see a list of all of the fields that are in the custom module, and you click in up to 5 and they show up over here. And then you can order them in the order in which you want them to display. And then down here, you have to pick, well, what is the key field? This is the field that you search on. I chose serial number. I could choose model, okay? So you can choose any of those 5 fields to search on, and then when you save it, that's how it works. So that's another one. Again, if you're using a custom module and you want to link it somewhere to another module in the database where you want to look up a piece of information and pull it in, you can use that custom module lookup field. And again, remember, you're not limited to 1 per record. You could create 4 custom module lookup fields of different things, or you could create 4 relationship type fields, or 3 multi-value lookup. So it's not 1 per record, it's whatever you need in order to pull the correct data in to save your team from having to type it. That's the main thing, is to save them from having to type and then to make it accurate for searching. Okay? All right. That's really all I have today. This is a quick one. Let me go back to here. And if anybody has any questions, now's the time to get them into that Q&A panel. Otherwise, we'll call it a short afternoon for training, which is good. So hopefully you've learned some ideas. You've got some things rolling around in your head that you can do. If you need some help with these, use our support system. Go to the knowledge base, look up custom fields, and you'll see all kinds of descriptions for all the custom fields in the help. And then if you still need some help, give tech support a call at 888-838-7487 extension 2, or email them at support@claritysoft.com. Or if you are in quick start with either myself or Linda, then you know to talk to us and we'll help you. And then if you have any future topic requests or critiques on anything, then email that to info@claritysoft.com. So I thank you for attending. Hopefully you got some good ideas, and go enjoy the rest of your afternoon.